In matter of criminal justice reform, Gary Johnson believes that it's very meaningful. We have too many unnecessary laws that have produced a society with too many people in our prisons and jails. Too many people, undeserving individuals saddled with criminal records, and a seriously frayed relationship between law enforcement and those they serve.
On the issue of cybersecurity, Gary Johnson wants to keep the internet free, protect privacy, and get warrants. He often says that there's nothing wrong with the internet and that he wants the government to fix that. Nothing in history has allowed for more innovation than the internet, and it has literally changed our world. This because of the internet gives people every day the tool of progress by putting information technology and communities at our fingertips. Nothing could compromise the progress more than giving the politicians in Washington, D.C. the ability to cut off information, question new technology, and intrude on our communities.
Gary Johnson's view on education. Gary Johnson wants to completely eliminate the education department from the federal government. He is not an advocate for student loans. He believes that if they did not exist, college would be a lot less expensive. This is due to the fact that if people could not afford college, they would not go and the prices would have to be lowered. However, it is already a current problem, and he would fix it by reducing the interest rates on federal student loans.
On the topic of gun control, Gary Johnson believes banning assault weapons just criminalizes the owner. Keep guns away from the mentally ill and potential terrorists. No-fly list is error-prone. Don't use it to deny guns. Carrying guns reduces crime and mass shootings. Keeping guns away from mentally ill. He is against denying guns from people on the government no-fly list. Concealed carry leads to less overall gun violence. And he supports the rights of gun ownerships. And gun laws are ineffective.
On the issue of healthcare, Gary Johnson, part of the Libertarian Party, he believes that the affordable health care will cause the United States economy to collapse. He firmly opposes federal government health insurance requirements and believes that each state should decide their own level of coverage for Medicaid.
On the topic of racial justice, Gary Johnson has not released a plan.
So Gary Johnson's views on taxes is he thinks that today's federal tax code does all the things wrong. It penalizes productivity, savings, and investment while rewarding inefficiency and designating winners and losers according to the political whim. For far too long, tax laws have been used not just as means to collect needed revenues, but a way for special interests to penalize their competition while subsidizing themselves. The resultant tax code is more than 70,000 pages long, enforced by a government agency with almost 100 employees. As a result of the tax code, it has created a nightmare of the average American, while providing shelter for those with all the means to manipulate it. Governor Johnson advocates for the elimination of special interest tax loopholes to get rid of the double taxation on small businesses and ultimately the replacement for all income and payroll taxes with a single consumption tax that determines your tax burden on how much you spend, not how much you earn. Such a tax would be structured to ensure that no one's tax burden for the purchase of basic family necessities would be increased. Contrary, costs of necessities would likely decrease with the elimination of taxes already including in the price of virtually everything we buy. Many leading economists have been advocated such a shift in a way we are taxed, and Gary Johnson believes the time has come to replace our tax code, which penalizes the savings, productivity, and investment we desperately need. So Gary Johnson says to stop special interest loopholes, reward responsibility, and simplify our tax code.
Gary Johnson, on the issue of women's rights, it recognizes the right of a woman to choose, as is the law of the land, and he has been for this for several decades. He believes that this right is to be respected. However, he has a personal aversion to it. He feels strongly that women seeking to exercise their legal right must not be subjected to prosecution
or denied access to health services by politicians in Washington or anywhere else.